Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to Invested. Another question. How do I get a loan on a vacant commercial property? I'm thinking this question because I hear that a lot from friends, other people who are new to CRE, right? So, and I can see that's a daunting task because I really want it. I have, I can use it. I have other people that has interest in it, but I don't have the funds to buy it all cash. So I do need to get financing, but how do I do that? Because every bank tells me, well, sir, you don't have enough balance, you don't have enough credit, you don't have enough like assets for us to do that, given this is non-cash generating, or we use the word self-generating or a self-sustaining asset, right? So that's a lot of things you're going to hear. So let me read the question. I'm looking at purchasing a vacant commercial property, but typically a lender wants to see contracts in place with tenant and cash flow. My plan is to buy it and find the tenant for it. How do I get a lender to give me a loan on a vacant building? Does anyone know a good lender to go for this type of property? Answer is yes and no, but the correct answer is you have to be creative. So the word here is going to be most lenders are going to want something called tenant in tow. Tenant in tow. Always remember that. So if I was doing this, and I don't know your background, so I'm going to give you from my experience, right? And this is actually what I have done in the past. So it's a smaller property in Southern California. I'm not going to go into too much details, but this is actually what I did. So we had a motivated seller, and the seller knows that the current tenant has about 6 months remaining, and they occupy the entire property. It's a single tenant, and it's about 6,000 square foot. I remember 6,200 and some change. And I remember it because it was really a heartache, and I got all emotional when I got it done because that was like my first one, my first commercial. I was like, I did it. But they were leaving, and that means the seller, he was a little bit older in a retirement mode. He just didn't have the appetite to like renovate, get a broker, and get another tenant and carry on that, right? So he was highly motivated to sell it to us. And we went, and I was very honest with the seller. Say, hey, this is my accolade. I have this much experience. As you know, I'm a younger person. I am trying to get loans. However, you already know this because you've been in the game for a long time. It's going to be very challenging for me to find a lender that's going to give me the money. And if I was a wealthy person, we wouldn't be having this conversation because I'll just negotiate really hard, knowing your situation that you're going to be shit out of luck because your tenant's leaving. Your value drops significantly because without NOI it's not a cap play. It's a per pound play. When I say per pound, it's a per square foot play. So then I'll just buy really all cash and I'll find the tenant, right? But that's not in the situation. So would you be able to do this with me? Would you let me go into contract at the price that we negotiate and give me a little bit longer due diligence period? Typically on a transaction like this, it'd be 30 to 45 days. Would you be willing to work with me and give me 90 days for due diligence and give me 60 days to close? Because it's going to take me 60 days to get lender to finance me. And the reason I say that to you is because I'm on 90 days is because I have some clients, I have some potential user that I think will be a perfect fit, but I can't represent that this is the building because I don't own it. But if I get into contract, I can have them sign a CA or NDA and say, hey, look, I control this property and this is a rate, this is a TI package. These are the things I can do for you. Would you have interest? So when I have an LOI engaged, now I have a tenant in tow. Now I could take that LOI, the bona fide LOI, to the lender and say, hey, look, this property, I'm throwing out an arbitrary number. I have it under contract with this tenant. As you know, if you mark to market, you do an appraisal with this tenant, with this caliber, it's going to be worth $2.6 million. So I would like to would you like to give me a loan for low leverage? I'm not asking for 60, 70% LTV. I'll take a 45% LTV. Then once I do that, I'll put a little bit of money, and would you be able to carry me for another 20% as a seller carry, and I'll give you 8% interest? Would that be amicable for you? So that was the first way I approached because I had this hurdles to go through, and you might be in the same situation. I'm giving you a lot of different strategies to do so. That's not typical, right? Because most people are like, I need to find a lender to give me a loan. But you already know that's already challenging. Then you have to think out of the box. Okay. And second thing is, if that's not a viable option and you know there is potential tenant that's going to create a lot of value for this project, and using the same example, if it was $1 million and you think it's going to be worth $2.6 million after you're able to re-tenant that, then you need to start making a lot of phone calls to your friends, to your old boss, your mentors, and your family members. You come up with a damn good business plan with projections, and you have to sell yourself and be able to raise that $1 million. So essentially what's happening is, traditionally, you're not going with the lender. Your friends and family, the people you have built reputation with, who trust you, who support you, and they think you're smart or intelligent, are going to give you that money, which essentially is a loan, right? So if the bank loans is 6%, 7%, because they have faith in you, maybe you have to give them 10%, right? So that's how you have to think out of the box to get this type of property under contract and be able to close. I hope that was helpful. And if this was helpful, you have further questions or comments, please add it or use our email on our tag, and we'll get back with you. If you found this content helpful, please like, subscribe, and follow. Thank you very much.